if I click on my menu again, those are all the things that everyone can do. Now, hosts can do a little bit more, okay? A host can also access webinar settings because they're helping to run the meeting, okay? Now, the webinar settings are settings that give you control over the meeting. These are really important. Everyone's going to have different preferences for these, and you want the right combination for you. You might want to change these for different meetings, of course. Now, the first one is kind of the big one, whether or not you want to hide muted attendees. We call that webinar mode, okay? Let's imagine you have 100 people in your room, okay? 100 people, that's a lot of people. Now, you could let people look around the gallery and see everyone, which means that they're being distracted by that cute girl on page 3 or the cute guy on page 5, but maybe you don't want that kind of distraction. So maybe you want to hide muted attendees. Now, if you hide muted attendees, who's not hidden? The unmuted attendees, okay? The people who are part of the active conversation, typically your hosts and co-hosts, okay? And maybe if someone raises their hand, we'll talk about that. If someone raises their hand, you can unmute them, and then they come up on stage. Just by unmuting them, they come up on stage if this option is enabled, okay? So enabling this option is how you run larger meetings. Now, next option is whether or not attendees join muted, okay? Now, this is especially important if you're trying to hide muted attendees. Because look, if you're hiding muted attendees because you want these 5 people to be up on the panel, then you don't want people to join and suddenly be on the panel without expecting it. So the main reason to enable this second feature, attendees join muted, is so that people don't accidentally interrupt the conversation already in progress. Next one, make active speaker view the default view. This is another way of encouraging people to focus on the speaker, not on the gallery. Next, we have a feature called widgets. We'll talk about that later on. Widgets are extra little features that do cool things. And you can choose whether or not each widget can be used by a guest or not. But this option hides the widgets from the guests, okay? So that they can't even see them.